Just checking the sounds here. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good to go live. Thanks everybody for joining. If there's anybody watching today, it's only going to be me for now. My friend said he's not going to be able to join tonight, but we may have surprise drop-ins later in the stream. It won't be as long as usual because I do want to catch the game to start right now at 9 o'clock in less than an hour. But we'll go through everything that happened on week 2 of the World Cup. So if you're first time dropping in, it would help if you at least subscribe to the channel so you can check out our future live streams. And if you enjoy the stream at the end, feel free to drop a like. So without further ado, we will start with a USA who won their second game on the bounce. So first game, convincing win, and then against Paraguay, and second game, a convincing win against what I thought would be probably, if not probably their second hardest fixture in the group, if not the first. Because Paraguay was definitely underwhelming. And I was wondering if that was a fluke. Because in theory, Turkey would have been the hardest fixture, followed by Australia, followed by Paraguay. So the question was, Paraguay too easy? Then let's see what Australia has for them. Australia beat Turkey on their first game convincingly as well. So this was a good test. I think they passed with flying colors. Australia, I think, played well, and I think deserved at least a goal in this game. But overall, other than the defensive mishaps that we're already aware of, I think this Pochettino team is definitely worthy of a good run going into the knockout stage. Depends on who they're going to face. If they finish first, obviously, they'll face a lower opponent, whether it's for second or third. I forget what the fixture is going to be. So I still think that this team hasn't been tested, especially at the back in transition. They look a little bit disorganized. But so far, given what we've seen, they're playing attacking football, fluid football, defenders, and all sorts of players other than Balogun. They're providing all sorts of threats, including goals, right? So something that the U.S. should be happy about. But again, I don't think they're going to be playing like this or be successful against the tougher teams. So Australia, unfortunately, didn't show as much cohesion as they showed against Turkey. On the counter, they didn't look like position, whether it was their forwards or even the midfielders connecting the build-up. Even on the counters, it wasn't their day. I think the U.S. pretty much neutralized everything they had. And yeah, as part of that group, I think to me the biggest surprise of the tournament so far, not that Turkey hasn't scored any goals, but the fact that they haven't scored any goals and they haven't got any wins, and they're automatically out because of the head-to-head difference. They won't even be able to finish third because they already lost 2 matches. I think if you read online and you see people's reaction, especially Turkish fans, I think they're extremely disappointed. I think they had high hopes. Turkish team is really hot and cold. Like some tournaments, they'll be making deep runs, or they completely disappoint everyone and either lose all their games or get knocked out early. I think it's definitely going to be the latter. Again, in this game, very similar to the first game against Australia. Patient build up from the back, side to side, but the team is very reluctant to create opportunities through the middle. Arda Güler again had a very, very quiet game. I didn't see any form of connections. If I look at here, the lineup, Yildiz started on the left. They didn't even use his skills, particularly whether it was crossing or trying to make runs through the wing and to serve up the striker. I didn't see much. Calhanoglu and everybody else that play in the middle. Again, it was always passing it to the sides, to the wings, or to the right fullbacks to create a chance. And the decision making at the very end was always one touch too late or just the wrong decision, whether they should have shot a little bit earlier or commit to the cross. Very risk averse. I don't understand. Clearly they've been drilled. What's their coach? Montella has a form of play, an identity, but it just 2 games without goals. Doesn't matter how many chances you scored. Like I know their GA was over 2, but 30 shots and yeah, 30 shots. But the goalkeeper only made 5 out of those 32 shots. Only 2 saves, 5 saves, sorry, out of 32 shots. So poor from big chances, like the efficiency is like very very low. And you played the entire second half against a 10-man team, Paraguay. Um, Credit to Paraguay as well for holding on to the leads, but they could have done. I don't think they did close to what they should have done. And unfortunately, the failure comes down to tactics. So I think Montella failed Turkey. The Turkish players failed Turkey, and I'm afraid this is the end of the road. Completely flips the predictions upside down because I remember Syed and I predicted for Turkey to finish top of this group. They'll likely finish last, if not second last. So it is what it is. There's still for this particular group, like Group B, obviously USA automatically qualified. Now it's a matter of Australia and Paraguay who squeeze in into second spot, and that sets up a nice matchup between the two of them for week 3. So, on to the next group. So this was an interesting fixture because Germany almost conceded points in this game. So a few things to note. There were reports leading up to the tournament about Nagelsmann um, basically not being a fan of this UNDAF guy. Clearly, it's been pretty apparent that's not his first choice. Luckily for um, Nagelsmann, Havertz was fit enough to make it onto the squad, and he started both of the games. In this particular one, he was subbed off, and it produced results because Undav came in and pretty much scored the tying goal as well as the winning goal at in the very last minute, right? So whether Nagelsmann likes it or not, Undav is delivering results and important scores points. For the game itself, like I think classic where Germany wasn't playing at their best, especially in the first half. Not very clinical. Um, and Ivory Coast did look dangerous in the counterattack, like we had mentioned. Germany's defensive setup in particular, not being trustworthy. And like Ivory Coast was capable of creating, superiority in the middle and attacking down the way, especially with this Diomande guy on the left, who's been one of the most electric players so far in the tournaments. I think Ivory Coast could have, was a little bit unlucky. Like, unfortunately, the German team committed more towards the end, and eventually it led to the goal. This game could have easily gone both ways had Germany not been a little bit more serious. I think Ivory Coast could have easily come up with a win, but a tie was definitely probably fair. And then at the end, you know, Germany just does Germany things, which is like quality supersedes everything else on international tournaments. Special note to their defender as well. I think it was Schlotterberg. Yeah, Schlotterberg is out for the rest of the tournament with an ankle injury. This does not help Germany because Rudiger is a good defender, but time will tell whether, especially for this tournament, Rudiger, I would say I put it at the same rank as, say, someone like Pepe, who played for Portugal for many years, and even though with time they're still able to be very physical defenders with their one-on-one duels. It's just that Rudiger lost a lot of pace, right? So if the German team is composed of Jonathan Tah and Rudiger at the back, I'm not sure if that's going to be their starting lineup. That's a lot of speed and pace that they're going to lose, especially in the middle. So I don't know how Nagelsmann is going to compensate for that on week 3. They've already qualified into the next round, so it will probably be rotation in the squad. I'm interested to see how this pans out. I don't think they have lack quality up front. The question becomes that defense, how far will that defense take them down the tournament? I think it's definitely the weakest point. The other game, I didn't catch the Ecuador Curacao game, but shout out to Ecuador for Curacao. Sorry, to get their, I believe it was their first point ever, obviously, because their first tournaments. Um, a point is a point. I just briefly looked up the stats. Clearly, Ecuador created far more chances and higher expected goals. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. Did you score? No. If none of the teams scored, that means the tie is the fair result. Um, what's also interesting is that um, Curacao has a chance of making it to the next round. So um, the question becomes, can they pull the biggest upset, one of the biggest upset of this tournament? Because Germany has to face Ecuador um, in the last match day, right, for this group. So if Germany wins, it's all in Curaçao's hands. Like the question is, can they beat Ivory Coast, who clearly is the second best team, probably the team who clearly has shown more signs of making it to the next round in this group. It's just interesting because you leave it to the last day. Ecuador has to have a win. 2 points with the 2 ties will not be enough to make it as the best third place teams. So they'll be looking for the win. It's just whether they can beat Germany. There's always a chance. It's the World Cup. But in particular, Curacao, like I can't believe into the last match day, Curacao still has a chance of making it through. So that would be exciting to see. Not much else to say. I didn't watch the game. Um, so we'll move on to the next one. For I lost count how many articles and how many commentators, even on major media outlets, talked about how Spain was finished and Spain was not the same. Spain had big issues. I think definitely premature, those claims that Spain is finished or Spain doesn't have enough. At the same time, uh, I think the same thing can be said about the opponent. Saudi Arabia clearly was not well organized for this game. They conceded goals relatively early, within the first 20-21 minutes, already to nothing down. Um, I think two things can be right. I think Spain look much better. The setup for the first game was a little bit strange. Obviously, De La Fuente had to rest Yamal. Yamal coming in the team, Baena coming in the team, completely different wingers, completely different midfielders. And Dani Olmo, Pedri, offensively very sound, comfortable with the ball. The team just looked way more cohesive as a whole, as a unit. Oyarzabal, who got a lot of criticism on the first game, was not only clinical but pretty important for Spain's performance, especially in the first half. I think like the question is going to be whether Spain operates like they did for this game, or if they uh, if this was just a bleep because of Saudi Arabia. So like what I noticed in this game in particular, and I think it's been a trend in the World Cup, is that teams that try to defend man to man, especially what formation that Saudi Arabia had, which is either a 4-4-2 or five defenders at the back, but it was still man to man. If there's a switch up the play, which was Spain did very well, start on one side and then switch it up to the other. If you're doing man to man, you have to be just very careful with those transitions. And I think it was pretty obvious in this game that Saudi Arabia struggled. At that, to add to that, Spain's capability for the players to move the ball around quickly, especially in the middle. With men marking, that's just hard to accomplish. Like you need a lot of discipline, and the margin of error for mistakes is very low. So I think the two things are right. I think Spain played much better, and just Saudi Arabia just was not able to execute the defensive plan. And then offensively, they were pretty much non-existent, like 0 big chances in 90 minutes, 3 shots in total. That just speaks for itself. So again, for those who said that Spain was finished, I think premature. They can only get better from here. It's just we'll see whether this was just a bleep, or because of the opponent, or they're onto something. Obviously, I think they're one of the favorites to win the tournament. So, Cinderella story. The fact that it's the second game that they've not lost. I think it's surprising a lot of people. Like I was hoping that they would have the Cinderella story as part of my original predictions, and they continue to deliver. Nobody can hate on this team. Um, Lucky goals, like the free kick, great, good free kick. The Uruguayan players that were on the wall, I forget who they were. Obviously, that was bad from their point of view, but a free kick is a free kick. It gets the game going. Just we talked about the water breaks. A free kick just around the water break period. Um, Interesting as it might be, like I think it was good for the game because Uruguay was had to play on the front foot regardless, and they came in and within the first half they turned around the game. The second goal, very lucky, but um, they materialized. Like I watched the replay multiple times for that goal, and even though it was a giveaway, the fact that he just with one touch was able to tap it in from far outside the box, um, for a team that doesn't spend too much time with the ball in their feet, the players will only get so many chances. So the fact that uh, with just that one chance, Varela could go in and sneak in that goal, just goes to show that this Cape Verde team is they're capable of doing interesting things. Um, Uruguay, like a la Bielsa, so bomb forward with as many players as they can. They're just a joy to watch. I just really enjoy both styles. Like Cape Verde, very very disciplined at the back, and clever in finalizing and scoring goals when they needed to for this game. And then Uruguay just playing the high octane football that will not get them far against the better teams, but definitely will lead to entertainment. So in terms of better teams, the last match day against Spain, um, all of these teams still have a chance of finishing third with 4 points, or with at least 4 points, right? So Saudi Arabia, if they win, they'll finish with 4 points. Cape Verde, Uruguay, if they win their corresponding games, they'll finish with 5. Um, all teams can still qualify, so still wide open. I don't see, given how Uruguay has been playing so far, unless Spain decides to rotate players, which wouldn't be a good idea either. Because depending on combination of games, Spain could even finish third. Unlikely, right? So I don't think they're going to rotate too much. I don't see Uruguay winning. The question is, who out of Cabo Verde or Saudi Arabia can get a win? If any of those teams get a win and Spain gets their win as well, then one of those teams makes it through. So rest to see. My Cinderella, Cabo Verde. I hope they make it. I'm just not sure if they have what it takes. Like, there's only so much you can do, especially defending for 80, 90 minutes. The team gets tired. Teams that chase the ball and play defensive, they'll run more. So, uh, squad rotation aside, this Cape Verde team is likely going to need a lot more than just defending to beat Saudi Arabia, right? Unless they can get through with counterattacks and the way they've been playing so far. Getting their first 2 goals or their goals in the World Cup is great. Now the question is, can you squeeze in a win as part of that? So more to come on week 3. The France-Iraq game, France far superior. There was a massive delay in that game that took a while because of the storm. There's not much to say about that. What I did want to touch upon is some crazy stats that I started seeing. Mbappe definitely has, other than the potentially deficit in some of his game, like he's incredibly talented, great speed, electric, a joy to watch. But at times, may not necessarily have the quality, the decision making. When he needs to score a goal, like in World Cups, like that, you can throw everything out the window. He will deliver for you goals and performances. And since 2018, I saw the stat: 16 games, 16 goals. That's crazy. That's crazy. Messi very close to 13 games, but like Messi's already an extraterrestrial. He's not really human. Mbappe having produced all these years, and France having deep runs, including the final last time in Qatar against Argentina. He continues to deliver, and this was just another another game to his collection. The this French team has way too much firepower up front for teams to give them a free pass. Like I think when I see France, especially in the knockout stage, Deschamps tends to be very pragmatic. I know he won't be for in France last game for the group stage because of his mom's passing, but into the group stage he's going to be back, and the question will be whether um, does France give too much respect to their opponents or the other way around? Like, will the other opponents show enough respect or not to France? There's just too much quality up front. Like I would be scared, right? Like Mbappe leading the line and delivering results for France. I still see them as top two, top three, probably top three together with Spain and Argentina. Nothing changed from week one. Again, weak opposition, but like cruise control for France. Not much to say there, or not much else to say. I'll remove some images here. Um, the in the same group, another exciting game. This is probably one of the best games so far. End to end. Um, Senegal team, according to the some of the readings I saw, because I didn't watch in detail. I saw the Afcon, but I didn't see the qualifiers leading up to this tournament. Senegal was ranked as one of the best teams in Africa. Um, I'm not convinced by either, right? So, like, Senegal, Norway, as soon as they had the lead, Norway just sat back. That's the way I see them. Um, Norway has a really hard time um, creating opportunities from deep buildup, right? Odegaard seems to have a different role compared to Arsenal. He tends to drop deeper, and with that midfield setup, Odegaard, Berge, and Aursnes, like there's enough quality in there, but the team as a whole doesn't really convince me. Right? I think it's a counter-attacking team. I think like they're well drilled by their coach. I see them as dark horses in the sense that if they put up a solid defensive setup, can they break on the counter with Holland's Nusa? Balls in behind, in transition. They have quality players in the midfield. The question is, um, can they execute flawlessly on those counterattacks? Senegal, unfortunately, defensively, they're just not sound. Like there's too much space in between the lines. So for this game in particular, for the chances they created, they were able to score. Senegal, did their best. Like I think they threw this kitchen sink at it. If they had tied that game, I wouldn't have been surprised. But having said that, uh, Senegal can still finish third, and Iraq can still finish third, like depending on who wins in the last game. Um, they can't finish second anymore. It's going to be between France and Norway. Um, I'm interested to see how France or how Norway will set up in their next game against France. Um, Whether we're going to see them counterattack like I described, and we'll see what kind of threats they can create. Um, but again, with both teams qualified, there might be rotation in there. It might not mean anything. I'm not too sure. Um, I still think that Norway will struggle against much better opponents. We'll see with France, and in particular against teams that don't give them too much time to play. So if they play counter, I just don't see them having enough. Unfortunately, having Holland in the team is just not enough. Uh, Lionel Messi, like uh, professional performance by Argentina. I don't think they were brilliant, but I don't think they were terrible either. Um, Messi missing a penalty still scores 2 goals. I think like the image that I wanted to share was this one here that I saw was pretty cool. Like probably one of the best pictures I've seen so far of the tournament. Um, Goalkeeper, defender on the floor, and then 3 other Austrian players just trying to stay, well, one of them blocking the shot, but the other two just in front of the line. Um, I s- for this particular goal, I have a hard time picking between, are the players just, is this showing the threat and the what Messi carries that goes beyond football. Like, is this representative of that? Do the players act erratically, or because to me this doesn't look like proper defending? Like there was a little bit disorganized, this is a sign. This defensive setup here they have right now, this picture just before he took the shot. First of all, the shot still went through. Um, Messi's Messi, so I'll always give him credit for anything that he's able to achieve. Um, but this setup is whether it was bad defending or Argentina just created enough opportunities for the opponent to lose control and to lose shape. This could be it. But I think overall, this is just bad defending. But however, I struggle to pick between, Austria messing up in the defensive setup or just the players just can't keep up with Messi. And even 4 or 5 players in this particular case, still not enough. He can still get it in. There's there's something about Messi in the first 2 games, that little estrella, that little star that accompanies champions in tournaments. It was there for him in the last World Cup. Um, he's got that little star next to him. That Argentina team is still looking rock solid. Doesn't depend exclusively on him. He's been getting in the goals. Like Alvarez should have scored at least 1 goal in that game. But at no point did they look like they were going to lose control of that game. Austria did get a few chances, but like Argentina had plenty of opportunities to get at least 3 goals in that game. Very convincing. And another clean sheet for Argentina. Like this is what they do. This is literally what they do. So still my pick to win the tournament. Austria, not a bad team. Just not enough for that day. Just Messi's too much. So we'll see. We'll see how far this can go on. Like almost 2 hat tricks in the first 2 games. This guy Messi's reaching unbelievable numbers. Like we're definitely running out of words to describe what he's capable of doing. In that particular game, like there was in that group, there was one more game that I caught parts of it because particularly it was a very late game. But I think this game was representative of 2 things. So one of them being the quality of some of these oppositions. So like Jordan was one of the worst teams I've seen in this tournament. There's tenacity. There's a eagerness to make things work, whether it's on a counter, tackles. But just the IQ and the decision making as the team went on, tried to do their transition, right? Like as to try to go counter, because Algeria pretty much dominated the entire game, was just so weak. I think this World Cup is really showing that with the expanded setup, with the 48 teams, more teams able to make it into the tournament, there's still a huge gap. And I'm not talking about tactical gaps, because I think a lot of teams, whether it's coming in from Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, even some of like the weaker European teams, like tactically, I think like we're coming to a point where with the international coaches taking over these inferior teams, like tactically, they're not too far off. It's just from an individual perspective, it really shows. And in this particular game, the score 2-1, it's by far not representative of the game. And of the quality of the players. Like Algeria is not a bad team. Good individuals, good players in particular. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up, this Maza guy that plays in the middle for Algeria, what a player! What a player! Like there's very few players nowadays that they get you off your feet, off your seat, right? Like they get you standing up, and like, oh my god, what is he gonna do, right? Like Lamine Yamal, he's one of them. Diomande that we talked about for Ivory Coast, he's another player I can think of. Ibrahim Maza, I think that's his first name. He plays for Bayern Leverkusen. 20 years old. Wow. Him, Boadi, there's been a few players in this particular North African players. Very impressed. His decision making a little bit suspect, but like 20 years old, coaching can come a long way. Wow, electric. The ball is glued to his feet. He's not afraid of chasing a one-on-one duel, a dribble, getting into tight spaces. Like I love players that want to take risks, and he's incredibly talented. So with this team in particular, you would think, oh, with Riyad Mahrez, the team is going to be relying on him. No, like they attack with a lot of players going forward. They commit a lot of risk, and they'll create chances. It's just that the quality up front is still lacking, right? But I do enjoy watching this team, and in particular, Maza. Like I've been very, very impressed. Um, so more to come. I haven't looked at the stats for this group. Argentina obviously is through. Um, yep, it looks like it's going to come down to Austria and Algeria battling for the second spot, second, third spot. If they both tie 4 points, both can make it. So, but I don't see Algeria sitting back. They have a -2 goal differential. Austria has 0. So Algeria will probably have to take a lot of risks. So we'll see how they face against the Austria team. Um, they won't make it too far, but at least it's a team that I enjoyed watching compared to the Argentina game, where Argentina was far superior. This game it was much better, but again, just a weaker opposition. So it's one of those, like I said, where you know it shows the levels. Like some of these teams, like Jordan, are very weak, and then it makes other teams like Argentina, or sorry, Algeria, look better. Against Russia, I'm excited to see how they'll face, especially Austria defends much better than Jordan, and has much better players, right? That was Algeria. Okay, so now we move on to probably the team that I have the most to talk about, but it is what it is. Um, a relief, a relief that they got a win. This was a must win. So, um, let's make it very clear. Yeah, I demanded a convincing win by goals, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it may be, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that this team is serious, because the players were not serious, and the coach was definitely not serious in the first match. Um, uh, Ronaldo, hats off, 2 goals. Okay, it is what it is. Your job is to score goals as the main forward and as undroppable player in the team, and you score 2 goals. So, um, in terms of the game itself, what we saw in the first game did not happen in the second game. I think it was a combination of player profiles as well as tactics, right? So, in particular, João Felix up front um, still provided quality to make combination plays with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes in the middle. But there was a lot of freedom that was given to both Cancelo and Nuno Mendes to go down the wings, overlap, and use those channels to your advantage. And that's in fact like how some of the goals came about, especially the first one. Patient build up from the side, but then Cancelo eventually takes off on the one of the Portuguese motorcycles that we have, with a good cross, decent cross, and a good finish by Ronaldo. So the risk averse setup that was in the first game, where the Portuguese players were pretty much non-existent in the middle of the pitch, and there was pass, pass, pass back, that didn't exist this time. So like clearly a bigger emphasis through the middle. The fullbacks really providing that depth, which I think is like one of the biggest strengths of this team. And then up front, Ronaldo tapping in the goals, and Leão with the finish coming off the bench towards the end. Um, I'm still concerned about the way Portugal looks in transition. Uzbekistan had one goal disallowed after a foul. I think it was a foul. Like before VAR, I wouldn't have even batted an eye. It would have been like a missed call, or maybe not even questionable call. But like it was a great goal. It would have been one of the goals of the tournament. Um, Having said that, again, I just talked about Jordan being a poor team. This Uzbekistan is very poor. It just, other than Kuzanov, who plays at a top team, um, everybody else just so many levels below. Like it just, the difference is astronomical. And even having said that, when they were caught off guard and in transition, Uzbekistan was able to get in between the lines of the Portuguese team, and there was always like almost like a numerical superiority. Um, Against bigger, better teams, Portugal is going to struggle a lot. I think like the game against Colombia will reveal how well this team can set up. Whether Martinez changes tactics, or whether it's just the players are not willing to commit defensively, especially in these early games against supposed to be weaker opponents. Um, Very scary. I think I see them and Germany having that in common, where especially in transition, because these teams are going to play to have the ball in their feet as much as possible. In the event that they have to, um, they're cut off guard. Like I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to leak goals, regardless of the quality of the goalkeeper you're going to have. If the line and the spaces between midfield and defense are too large, players are going to take advantage of that, and teams are going to take advantage of that. So it was pretty evident again on this game. Um, the Colombia game that's set up for the last game for both Portugal and Colombia, I think it's going to be a firecracker. Um, the um, the fight for first spot is important, because if you finish second, the oppositions, especially on the earlier knockout rounds, are much bigger or much more difficult, right? So it's in Portugal and Colombia's interest to finish top of their group, and avoid finishing second, right? So um, I I'm not convinced, obviously, because I think Martinez is still a problem. Ronaldo's still a problem, regardless if he scored 2 goals. Him coming out after the game or at the end of the game when he was yelling at the camera saying, I'm back, I'm back. You scored 2 goals against Uzbekistan, Ronaldo. You need to relax. Like, good finishes, okay. You could have even had a hat trick, no problem. But let's keep it real. The difference in the quality of the opposition, this was a must win regardless. So you haven't proven anything here, right? Like what I need to see is Ronaldo playing for the team, scoring goals in games where Portugal wins. I don't want to see another 3-3 against Spain. I don't want to see another 3-3 against Hungary. I don't want to see those goals where he's scoring, but the team is not winning, right? I need to see goals that result in wins and are important wins against strong opponents, right? Like in the last World Cup, Portugal was eliminated by Uruguay. I don't remember Ronaldo scoring that game. So make it work, and make sure against Colombia, if you're going to start again, which is very likely. I want to be able to see results. If he says I'm back, whatever that means, I need to see above all Portugal being back, right? Um, I saw other, uh, I think agendas or claims that, I talked about the defensive setup, but I talked about defensive setup in transition. I still believe that Martinez could potentially set this team up, to play in the counter. He might try out against Colombia. I'm not sure. And for those that say anybody can run through Bruno, Vitinha, and João Neves, well, João Neves and Vitinha, played defensively at times for PSG, especially in the Champions League runs, and they did just fine. So I don't think it's a matter of particular players. I think it's the setup. If Martinez sets up the team to defend, um, there's enough quality and ability from those players to do the job. I don't think that will be the case. I think he'll set up the team to play some form of ball possession. The question is, will they hold their ground? So excited to see what the Portugal, um, Colombia is going to turn out to be in the last matchup of this group, very, very soon. Last but not least, there's actually 2 more games I wanted to talk about real quick. This is the England that I was expecting, and not England tying or 0-0, but the England that we saw against Croatia. It was too good to be true. I think having a midfield of Anderson, Declan Rice, and Jude Bellingham, that's a physical midfield. Like, pace and power, lots of engine, lots of legs, but not necessarily ability to control, dictate tempo of games, create opportunities, especially in the middle of the field in tight spaces, if the opposition is either low block or doing some form of mid block with a press. And this game was very revealing. On the wings, Gordon and Madueke also not geared towards ball possession, right? So when you have all of that and Kane dropping on to deep, spaces to be able to build up, it becomes stale. Having said that, especially in the second half, I could sense an England goal coming. They were just creating way too many opportunities. Tuchel doing Tuchel things and changing things up. He brought in players that could all of a sudden, fatigue aside, could create chances. Right, like having Morgan Rogers and Eze on the field at the same time instead of Bellingham, Anderson changes the team's dynamics completely. And I just noticed that we've got our surprise guest waiting to add, so I'll bring him on. We can talk about. I think I can hear you. Your microphone.
Awesome. You can hear me all right?
I'll help you set up. So yeah, I see you changed you added the name as well. So I'll give you a minute before you set up. Liam is or Zlatan. I'll call you Zlatan. I know Zlatan. Zlatan and I played together on our Tuesday's game. I still can't hear you. Can you try?
Oh, you can't hear me? Shit.
No, I still can't hear you. In the settings, just on the StreamYard, go to your settings, and in there's an audio section, and just check what mic it's picking up.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
You know what? It could be me. Hold on.
Okay.
It was me all along.
Bro, you're gaslighting me here.
This is unacceptable. I'm the one setting up the stream, and I'm telling you I can't hear you, and everybody else can hear you. Thanks for joining, man. Come on.
Timing worked out here. I had to put in my new name after yesterday's goal. That's the.
That is you guys. You don't. Yeah. You know what? The goal that you scored yesterday, I was very Zlatan-esque.
Yeah, and I think I pulled my hammies right there because it's hurting today.
Can you feel it?
I kicked above my head. That was not nice.
Oh my God. Yeah, so for you guys, for you that don't know, Leah and I play on our Tuesday 7v7 team. Yesterday we won our game, and Liam scored a sensational goal. It was a long ball. I think, Anu, he made a long ball from the center, from the back. You cut in through the middle. And I can't even describe it. You had like an acrobatic shot. You extended your leg.
Tell you what the hell. It was over my right shoulder, like this height.
Over you. You're showing your back.
I don't know if I've ever kicked that high in my life, but I was like, fuck it, I gotta go for it, right? Because I couldn't reach with a header. There was no way I was getting it on target. Karate kick.
That's right. Karate kid, your back facing. And like over the goalie, it was a sensational goal.
I'm not the type to gas up a goal that I score, but this is the first time I've ever scored, and I looked around and the other team was like this.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. All of it, even us. We couldn't believe it.
No, but you were still man of the match there in the midfield. Single pivot.
Yeah. Yes. You're the way I would describe it, you're a direct winger, so you're tall, like, so I would say you remind me a little bit of Gareth Bale in terms of direct, commit down the channel. Then in the box, like, you've got the Zlatan ability to do these Karate Kid style finishes. So
I hope I still have it after that. But
yeah, so we'll see if it was a fluke or a real. Yeah,
I haven't seen the rest of the stream. What were you just talking about? What, you went through the game?
I was talking about England. I don't know if you caught the England game
against Ghana.
Yes. So what I was saying was the end of the game, Tuchel threw the kitchen sink at it, and in the last 15 minutes he changed the whole team. So he brought in Morgan Rogers and they were creating so many chances, whether crosses or passes through the box. They could have sneaked in a win, but a tie was definitely fair. And my comment was, and I don't know if you agree, is that the first game against Croatia, like, people were saying, oh my God, like, super attacking team. This team is so much different. Yeah. They're going to make a run for the World Cup. And I thought, I don't know if the first game is representative of the team and the way Tuchel plays. And this game was closer to what I expected. So what do you think? Like, from your point, do you think this team, English team, they can make it far in the tournament? How do you read it?
It might be a controversial opinion. I don't know. I feel like England's been you could arguably say they've been overhyped the last few tournaments. You look at any of their underlying metrics, the eye test, everything tells you that old English Southgate team was just park the bus, bet on your skilled players to drag you through it, and credit to them, it got them to a couple finals. But this team this year, I'm still believing, man. That Ghana team, credit to them, the defensive effort, they held their shape very well. That, like, total buy-in for that Ghana team, and credit to the coach. I don't know who's the coach, but
it's Queiroz. He's your previous assistant manager for Sir Alex.
Look at that. Explains a lot, man. Complete buy-in there. This English team, dude, I'm bullish on them. I don't see a weakness in this English team right now. Maybe I'm a Pickford hater. Maybe goaltending isn't up there with the elite teams, but he's passable. He can win you games. What I like what that Tuchel's done with this squad selection, especially, and he was very clear about it, picking the right profiles, not just the highest skilled players, but
names,
profiles, getting the right guys. You got fucking Madueke in this team over Cole Palmer. Skill wise, everybody knows that's like ridiculous. That was controversial for a reason. And yet, looking at this system now, Madueke fits like a glove, right? He wants wingers. If you're going to play out the back at your wingers isolated one-on-one, you need a guy who's going to drive to the line, like take on his man every single time. And I mean, like, look at this team, bro. Where's the weakness? Do you see one? Like, genuinely, that's I don't see a weak spot.
Well, if they play counterattacking, so if they sit back, they let the other team take control of the game, and they want to press them on the counter, I think the team has plenty of depth here.
You don't think?
I agree. I don't see this team controlling games, unless they have Saka instead of Madueke, one of Morgan Rogers or Eze instead of Bellingham, and maybe even putting Menu. If you had Menu, like for example, a midfield of Rice, Menu, and Eze is completely different. Completely different.
Yeah, changes the dynamic entirely.
Yes, but like I don't think Tuchel is going to play like that. I think he's going to go for the set piece, the physicality, the numbers game, rather than control. Right?
Set pieces are a big deal for this English team too. I don't think people are. I think we'll appreciate it more in the knockout rounds when it's a lot of closer games that both teams are kind of swinging at each other, and it's we've seen it a lot. Like the whole Arsenal strategy this year, their Haramba. As much as we hate it, their set piece tactics. If you look at the actual effect on games that were deadlocked, where it's a 0-0 game, teams are parking the bus against them, like this Ghana game. More often than not, I think we'll see this English team break through on set pieces. And if it wasn't for the crossbar, I think once or twice here, I know on O'Reilly, he got absolutely robbed by the crossbar.
Oh yeah, that one. And then the Kane just right after shooting over the moon.
Like this English team, they've got the height, they've got the set piece tactics. Whatever they're drinking in London, they brought it over to North America.
Yes,
man, like yes. They've got all the players here. Like I was such an England hater every one of the last few tournaments because I just hated watching them play. This team's different, man, and I want to give Bellingham his flowers here because I know your opinion on him. I gotta say, in this position with Harry Kane, I think Bellingham, when he's not operating as like a deeper sort of midfielder, when he can do that interchange with Kane, Bellingham at his best is arriving into the box.
I agree.
That's perfect. You've got Gordon, Saka, Madueke, Rashford, like direct players. Bellingham loves crashing the box. Rogers, I haven't seen enough of his game other than when he's torching United, but he seems like the type of guy that fits a similar role. Kane is like that guy's heat map. You'd think he's a box-to-box midfielder. And so these front three, like that is, if I'm watching like a fluid attacking team in the World Cup, I want to see England because Kane's dropping deep. You got three runners in behind. You've got the midfielders who can ping those passes. You've got O'Reilly crashing the box. James who can step in anywhere on the field.
Yes.
I'm glazing this team because I love the construction of this team.
Yes. No, I like it too. Like I think I agree with you. I think Tuchel sticking to his guns and deciding I'm not going to pick players for the sake of picking players. I had during the preview I just mentioned a few choices. I wasn't sure if, for example, someone like Burn or Konsa, they should have been picked ahead of Maguire, for example. Like even though Maguire, I'm not his biggest fan.
He's
I was questioning
himself. I think recent seasons he's been solid.
Yes, and he's always performed for England, whether it was the back five or under a different manager. He showed up in the games and in the international stage. So, but everything else, like you said, fits like a glove. They have a plan in place. I see way too much quality for this team to be knocked out early.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen two versions of England so far. We'll see probably more of the same into the last game that they have. I think the bigger opponents will see. For example, a game like against Portugal, for example, I see them being able to squeeze in a win. Against Spain, even I can see them squeezing in a win. Against teams like France and Argentina, I'm not sure they have enough. Regardless of the quality.
I don't know what your who's your pick for the World Cup if you had to pick.
It was Argentina.
Overall,
Argentina.
Head to head, Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina, Spain in the final. That's what I had for the.
I had that as well. But England, it was a tough choice. Not gonna lie. You can't tell I'm a bit of a fan of this construction, but no, I don't know if can we talk about Argentina here for a bit?
Oh, of course. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's just me but I've seen a few people talking about it online. This Argentina team is like, I watch a lot of hockey, NHL. You see some teams where it's genuinely like they'll just coast through the regular season and they're just a whole different beast in the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? When everything's on the line. Argentina gives me the same sort of vibes where if you look at these guys, Romero is always injured, except when he's playing for Argentina. Lisandro Martinez barely came back in time a few months before the World Cup, playing some of his best football of his career. All these guys, I could go through the list of all these Argentina players. They play their best football with the national team. And a lot of that's the Messi effect. I don't know. I get the impression that for this Argentina team, like the World Cup is everything to them. A lot of these guys have won everywhere. A lot of these guys are veterans. They've been around the block. Like this seems like to them, if I give Argentina one edge, ignoring Messi, because the guy's a fucking ridiculous, like beyond words.
There's no words.
If I could give Argentina one edge over any team, it's the mental side of the game, which I think we talk about it in the abstract a lot, but you can see it when they play. Every challenge, they're in balls deep. Every single style of play, they adapt to the game. To me, like this, it really like lives and dies on Messi's shoulders here, and how teams can handle Messi. Guy's 39, still nobody seems to have an answer for it. But if Messi's playing as he is right now, man, France maybe can stop him. England maybe, if they have the performance of their life and get some set pieces. Like Portugal too, maybe. Like there's not really an individual team that would blow out Argentina out of the water unless they have the best game of their life.
Well, but England, for example, if you want to neutralize this team, I think it's hard because I don't think the team is fully dependent on Messi. I think what you said about the team buying into the coach, they've been playing together. They won back-to-back Copa Americas. They won the last World Cup. They won 3 international tournaments in a row. Like the last time a team did this, I think was Spain.
Yeah, real deal.
I think a team like England, for example, with physicality, especially with all that midfield that we talked about, I think they have the profiles and the quality to potentially neutralize Messi in a game, potentially, and take the game to extra time and penalties. And in penalties, anything can go, right? And Messi's not necessarily the best penalty taker, right?
Like you get Messi with penalties, you turn him into a human.
Yeah, I think the challenge compared to the last World Cup, especially from the games I've seen, is Argentina is actually not fully, because Argentina before had Di Maria, right, on the wing. They don't have Di Maria anymore. They're not necessarily dependent on Messi to create chances. Like Messi just happens to be scoring the goals, but the rest of the team is performing, right?
It's so hard to measure that though, because Messi's gravity on the field. There's probably some advanced analytic that can say what I'm trying to say here, but it's you just know when you watch the guy play. The other team, he's a 39-year-old dwarf, and they're shitting their pants when the ball's near him. To this day, right? And good reason.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that because when I was briefly talking about the game, there was a picture I threw out of the game against Austria, and it's my favorite picture so far of the tournaments. And it was this was just leading up just before he scored the second goal, right?
And through the guys.
When you talk about gravitating, I thought this picture was representative of that. What I was trying to explain was, are the teams completely discombobulated and completely disorganized? Because the moment they see Messi, they don't know how to react. Right. And I thought this goal in particular to me was like, fuck, like you've lost complete composure. You've got like, he still, by the way, even after that, he was still able to score it. Just when he shot this, the ball still went in between the two defenders.
It's a 5v1 in the box, basically, like in that shot.
Exactly. So because the players are probably so scared and worried about Messi, I think you're right. That then opens up and frees up the other Argentina players to have
Yeah.
more space, right? So can you stop Messi? I think that's what it comes down to. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced right now that anybody can
In
stop.
20 something years, I don't think we've had a good answer to that question yet.
No,
Still.
like only when he decides I've had enough. I'm not playing anymore. Um, maybe, but even then, like for example, Messi right now 39, right? Um, he
39.
probably he probably still has one Copa America left. Like I think in two, I'm saying
Yeah.
World Cup. I don't know, but dude, bring in Messi for the last 10 minutes. You need a free kick. You need a penalty. Maybe you go to extra time. I'm
It's
just saying, like,
whatever he decides, right? Like he could retire right now and he's already, I think for most people, the greatest to ever do it. He's got nothing left to prove. It's purely just like love of the game at this point, which I respect the hell out of him and Ronaldo, man. Like the most talked about thing ever in soccer, so I won't harp on it. But like, dude, the levels that those guys have been at for my entire life is like
yeah, for 20 years, for
it's
20,
fucking
good part
ridiculous.
of
I
almost
don't know
half a
how to
century.
swear, but that it is like beyond words with these guys.
Yes.
So I'm
I saw
just
I saw I
appreciating
saw
him.
like the some stats as well. I shared them before. But it was this one in particular. For example, um, Mbappe and Messi both have one goal per game, basically.
It's like
Like,
absurd.
yeah,
Mbappe, man. I want to give Mbappe his flowers here too. If we're
of
we're
course.
we're
Talk about it. Talk about
we're
it. Yeah, yeah.
talking about every team other than France because I think we're all bored of it at this point. That like France's B team would probably be a contender, and the
Yes.
fact that they like I can't think of many. I won't say definitive best of all time. It's too early, of course, but like, is there a better front three, front four in international team history? Like, you could say some of the prime Dutch teams, some of the prime. Like, I'm going. You got to go deep in history. '02 Brazil, maybe
I was
'98
gonna say
Brazil.
that Brazil, 98,
But like
2002.
the fact that we're having these discussions with this France team, I'm not putting Olise in like R9 category yet, but like Olise is world class right now. I think he proved it this
Yes,
season.
yes, yes, yes.
Mbappe, Dembele, Due, Cherky on the bench. Stupid. Cherky's ass should never touch a bench for the rest of his life if he's got legs. That guy is ridiculous. And he's not even starting for France, and they don't even need him. And then don't even ignore the team behind him. Like just that front four. I'm glazing all the biggest teams here, but like I love
No,
this is like
it's you know
such
what
a high level of football
you
at this international
you,
level.
you
I
got
don't
you.
think it always
I
been.
agree. I agree with you. There's way too much quality up front. Like what
Yeah.
just talking about bringing the difference between the starting players and players coming from the bench. If all of a sudden you need to bring in a Barcola, even with his limitations, or
Forgot about
a
Barcola.
Due, bring in a Due, like like it's
Man,
not it's like if the defense is getting tired and if they think, oh, like we can get a break, no, like you chapter 2 is coming and chapter 2 may be as lethal as chapter 1, and then Mbappe like in the middle of all of that. So I also have a hard time. I mean, I think like there's different kind of forwards, right? Like you talk about the Dutch teams from the 70s and 80s. Like Spain had good forwards like Villa, Pedri, Iniesta. I think played in the wing at some point for that
yeah.
Spanish
They
team.
played like 9
Like
midfielders a game.
like even Netherlands in that 2010, they had that was when they had Van Persie,
Snyder, Van Persie, Rob,
Robin,
and
Dirk Kuyt, Schneider. Like
that was a team.
in terms of forwards, like collections, and then the Brazilian teams that we talked about, like I would say they're slowly getting there because this is not going to be their first final, right? Like so,
Yeah.
like it's just there's just way too much firepower, and
Yeah.
I would be excited to see another Argentina 3-3 against France. Like, you know what I mean? Like with all of
I
that
would
happening.
watch Argentina France rematch in a heartbeat.
Exactly. So it's crazy. So yeah, Messi has been doing his things, but and at the age is incredible. Like 5 World Cup scoring, but Mbappe has a World Cup. He's a World Cup merchant. Like he just really likes World Cups, and he just comes to light. So
You like Mbappe? It's Mbappe is kind of like the star of La Liga right now. I don't know if when Messi and Ronaldo were there and like the El Clasicos there, like that was a World Cup level
No, he's
event
the
almost like
face.
every
He's the
time
face.
they played. Now I feel like Mbappe to a casual fan, Mbappe is low key underrated. You could argue purely because people don't watch La Liga as much as the Prem anymore. And so I think in the World Cups, like I don't know if Mbappe is as much of a World Cup merchant or if it's more just the fact like we're just seeing him every week now. I know you watch, but I'm saying like
No, no. I think Mbappe for France is a different Mbappe for Madrid, or even for PSG. Like the Mbappe for France is pressing, and he's doing the defensive work to chase the ball again and get that ball back.
For sure, there's a difference,
right? Like, and he's on it the whole game, right? And by the way, like I'm not a big fan of the whole thing of these forwards have to defend. Like we love Mbappe because as soon as he takes on the ball, he can go on the mad one, like the way you do sometimes. You just go on a madness, right? And I always ask people
like, this Liam Mbappe comparisons.
Liam Mbappe, yeah, Kylian, yes, Liam Mbappe, exactly. And I ask myself, imagine you're doing all the hard press, you're running. How do you still expect these guys? I know they're professional athletes. How do you expect them to all of a sudden still do those sprints and go one-on-one with a striker and cover 40 meters of the field? I don't think.
Just ask Luis Enrique with PSG, man. He turned Dembele into a fucking dog. That guy, you see that picture? Yes. Have you seen that video of him against, I think, Borussia Dortmund at the edge of the box?
Yes.
Like Game 7 LeBron.
Yes.
If you get Ousmane Dembele, who's like, he had this whole reputation a few years ago. People forget. He was like a lazy player.
Yeah, he completely changed.
Turned him into a dog. And I think, credit to Luis Enrique. Dembele as well in this France team, I think also brings that out. Like in that last game, Dembele intercepted the ball, Mbappe got the goal, or was it vice versa? Like exactly.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
Scenario. Look at Dembele's intensity there. Like everybody plays. There's that hockey term. Like everybody plays a foot taller when you got a big guy on the field.
Yes.
The soccer equivalent is like when you have a dog pressing like that, everybody plays like a dog. And so it's
you
got
it.
Buy-in
but Mbappe does play like a dog for France.
Yeah, which I love. Hey, team of dogs, and I gotta head out here in a sec.
Yeah, of course.
I could join in here though. Team of dogs that I want to give a shout out to is Japan, bro. Have you watched their games?
I missed the game against Netherlands. Then I watched the 30-minute highlights they have for the game against Tunisia. Tunisia's shit, but like, what a team,
dude!
What a team!
Talk about buy-in, the pressing, the like
structure.
I like the structure to me. Like this is Ruben Amorim's wet dream, dude. A 3-4-2-1 being played like this. I swear.
He wished.
Rotations. Oh my god.
They're so close to each other on the field at all times.
And so there's always a passing option. Runs as well that I like. If you look at their goals, Tunisia especially in that game, because it was like a training ground drill for them.
Yes.
All their goals, it's preset movements. All their chants, it's preset movements where you've got like usually it's the striker peeling to the ball side wing run. That ball sided number 10 drops deep, and you've got the like up back through type play. They did that like over and over again. They had like I lost count of how many overloads on the wings just because you'd have a couple times it was the center back that was like supporting in the wing.
Yes.
There.
Yeah.
They're playing like I like 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, that system. It gets its shit because most teams can't play it. You need very specific profiles, I think, in the midfield and in the wing back. Like that bank of four makes or breaks the team. Japan is one of the few teams that I think in this World Cup has the personnel to play it, and they're doing it, man. Like it's such an entertaining team to watch, and the fact that they're winning headers against the Dutch team, who's like I got to see the average height of those teams. Like I know it's a gap.
I mean, Japanese players definitely got taller with time, but like it's incredible. Like they awareness, spatial awareness to be where they are at the cross. It's crazy. I definitely underestimated them. I wasn't expecting them to continue. Like I would say punching above their weight, but at this point, I don't think they're punching above their weight. I think they're playing at the quality that they're playing.
They've shown, right? Yeah.
So before you head out, like I didn't touch on Canada today. Did you get a chance to watch the game?
Man, I was out of the house. I just watched the highlights, but maybe it's because it was TSN. Was Canada all over them a lot? It looked like two pretty sloppy goals, and for the most part, Canada was.
Towards the end, yes, when they were 2-0 down, Switzerland, like by the time Switzerland got the lead 2-0 down, like, sorry, 2-0, Switzerland was just much better. Like you could tell the quality difference, right? But they sat back and Jesse made the changes, and they were all over the Swiss team. I think they almost nicked in a tie towards the end.
That would have been a huge result. I mean, the fact that it's confirmed, right? They're in the knockouts now with the goal difference.
Yep.
Man, like credit to the Canada soccer program these last few years.
Statue for Jesse March.
We'll see how the knockouts go. I like the guy though. Also, Jonathan David. I think I need a statue if Jonathan David keeps playing the way he is. I played against Jonathan David in high school soccer. I want to say 2018.
No way. Yeah.
Dude, 2017 maybe. It was when he was playing in Ottawa for this school, Louis Real. We had like a solid team, good teams in the tournament, good players in that tournament. Jonathan David, our whole game plan was basically like, don't let this guy get the ball. If he does foul him, he played 20 minutes against us. He scored 4 goals and he walked the ball into the net. It was like levels, just levels. And he's great. He's clearly like, I wouldn't call him world class, but he is, up in that conversation. World Cup class, I would say. He's viable for almost every team in this cup. Other than the big teams, I think he would start for most of them. No? Maybe I'm being
first of all, there's not a big pool of strikers out there. So that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'll tell you this. I don't agree with him being up there, whatever that list is, just because I don't see Jonathan doing anything consistently that he excels at, right? So like Jonathan doesn't have the skills that, for example, the ball control that Kane has, for example. He doesn't have the finishing capability that Haaland has. He doesn't have the speed that Mbappe has. Right, so he's not stellar at anything.
Yeah,
there's a few things that he does well. Like he runs between the channels pretty well. He plays okay with his back facing the goal at times, right? And if you give him enough chances, he's going to score them. Like if you give him enough chances. Yeah. The question is,
rate.
Yes, yeah. So, but if he needs to wrestle and like play against really tough center backs, I haven't just seen enough. I just haven't seen enough, right? But like you described levels, of course, like we see these are elite players against the best defenders out there. It's tough, right? But I know it's funny you share that. Man. I'm not surprised that at the time when you were playing high school levels, he just, because all of these players in their own respective leagues, they were just cruising, they were just blitzing everybody, right? Imagine Mbappe, Yamal, those guys when they were 12, like dude, whatever they were doing, like
I think everybody, like we know how good they are, and yet we still don't have an appreciation until we see it up close. And like that, I love those ref cams, by the way. Like that to me, the best addition at this World Cup. Those, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like the little thing that it show, especially in the replays when they show the replay of the game. If the ref is in the middle, how fast the game happens and how like quickly they have to make a decision.
Gives you an appreciation for it. I saw the one for. It was when Bruno got the ball, sent Ronaldo through in the
the through ball for the
I think it's second goal.
Second goal, yeah.
I think it was. Dude, that was like my favorite ref cam footage I've ever seen. Like
sick pass.
They made Bruno Fernandes look like he was like 99 pace, bro. I swear I didn't realize that guy could move, but holy.
My personal favorite change they made this World Cup was, because we've seen the footage cameras previously, is if you get injured and you need assistance, you need to sit out for a minute.
Yeah,
and I think what the players are no longer rolling around and wasting time. Like if they don't get the foul, they'll roll. If they don't get the foul, they get up.
Yeah,
and like the play goes on. Like, you know what I mean? So less of that bullshit.
They've had to do something about that in soccer. Like, you could argue like 2014 was like that World Cup. That was the biggest headline of that World Cup. Like, we all know that Neymar meme going to infinity. It hasn't really got much better with any of the adjustments they've made until this one. So
this one in particular, yes.
With that being said, whatever motherfucker approved hydration breaks in a climate-controlled stadium, watch out. That's all I'm saying.
You're not a
And
fan,
with
I
that, I
understand.
gotta go, bro.
All right,
I'm
sounds
running
good.
late.
Thanks for dropping. Much appreciated.
Man,
Like
I'm glad I could
we'll
chat
stay
with
in
you.
touch. And yeah, we'll stay in touch. Come on.
All right, bro. Good luck next Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Liam is what a player. Liam is, we've been playing for several years now. He's a very direct winger. Really brave player on one-on-ones. He doesn't shy away from a shot as well. He's been our top scorer for several seasons running, by a mile. He's a good guy too. So yeah, like this was actually the last game. It's already past 9, believe it or not. Got the other games happening. I haven't even checked the scores to see what the look up guys are, but it looks like 0-0 across the board. Okay, so we haven't missed much. But yeah, very quickly here. Okay, like the first game that showed that Canada is clearly not at the level that I think people made him out to be, whether it was the home field advantage, whether the, getting excited for the 6-0 win against Qatar. Um, the difference between Switzerland and Canada was very apparent for the first half, like I was talking about with Liam. The goals in particular the Switzerland scored showed that Canada not sitting at the back and leaving always at most 4 guys at the back. When they're caught in transition, Switzerland always had at least one more guy. So whether it was on the wing or in the midfield, they always seem to add one extra guy. And I like eventually that's how they scored the goals. The second goal was bad goalkeeping. I think that's probably Canada's weakest point. The goalkeeper is not great. But for the first goal, you could tell like Vargas was completely unmarked for that goal. They've had situations in previous games where that was the case. It's just that the opponents weren't able to score. In this particular case, like just too much quality from Switzerland. The other winger, Mazambi, interesting player. Not as exciting as the one from Maza from Algeria that I mentioned, or Diomans. But someone to look out for. I forget, who does he play for? Mazambi plays in Freiburg in Germany. Interesting player. Energetic, pace, fast. Again, the goal. Just Crepeau is not good. Like he's not a good goalkeeper. Cornelius, I think, was not great in the center back today. Kyle Larin, I know he scored a goal against Bosnia. He's just in this game, you could show the opportunities he had. He's just either too slow or incapable of taking a shot. I think for tap-ins, close in the box, he may be someone that can bring you a goal, but like just not enough quality at the front. Buchanan, Ahmed, I've been disappointed with both of them, especially with Buchanan. He's supposed to be a courageous, brave striker, kind of like Liam that we just talked to. Just he's too hesitant to do one-on-ones. I think it was easy game for Switzerland. They sat back. Jesse March, kudos to him. He made the changes. Like this team has an identity, and I think if there's an example to be followed from this tournament is even if you don't have the means, or if you don't have the players to compete and win games against the tough opponents, at least have some form of style. And Canada under Jesse March has a style, and the style is high octane football. You're playing up front, very physical, high press, try to get that ball back, especially from the forwards. And if you don't, you try to get the ball back as early as possible. And then from there, you don't waste too much time. There's not enough creativity down the middle, so they always push it down the wings with overlaps from the fullbacks, trying to create as many opportunities as possible. So it's all around volume, right? What's going to hold them back is obviously the quality, the individual quality. I think Liam is too. He's excited about Jonathan David. He's one of Canada's best players, but when push comes to shove against strong oppositions, against strong defenses, I don't think he's going to cut it, and I don't think anybody else in that team really is going to cut it. Like a Promise David, great goal coming off the bench. Schaffelberg, Liam Millar, they do provide good alternatives down the wings, a little bit more pragmatic, similar profiles, right? But one more game, like they made it second based on goal differential. One more game, it just may not be enough I would be more than happy for them to make it one more round. I think the fact that they got their first wins and they made it to the next round, that's a great accomplishment in a relatively difficult group because Switzerland was supposed to be favorite. Bosnia had knocked out Italy. So um, when Italy got knocked out, we thought, okay, maybe Canada has an additional chance, but I thought always as a third place spot. The fact that they finished second on goal differential, that's a great achievement on its own. So Switzerland and Canada on to the next round. Bosnia finished third. And then that's the first group that has all three fixtures completed. Actually, no, because Group C finished just before we did the stream, and it looks like Morocco beat Haiti 4-2. Brazil beat Scotland 3-0, and that means that Brazil and Morocco go through in first and second spot respectively. Scotland has to wait. Minus 3 goal differential for Scotland with 3 points may not be enough. Like, we'll have to wait and see. So that's it for today. I thought it was going to be quick, but with Liam coming and me talking to myself pretty much, that takes us over an hour. So if anybody tuned in along the way, thanks for listening. If you tune into the video afterwards, then I appreciate that. And if you can hit the like and subscribe on your way out, that would be appreciated. And we will have another round of reviews for, games are coming thick and fast for week 3 or the end of the third fixture for the groups. We'll have another review just before the knockout stage begins, end of week most likely, whenever the games finish. So until then, take care.